On today's UI7 Newsbreak, students on campus celebrated the halt of construction on the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Also,
I think about it like there's buildings here that don't really have much security and people could easily get into those buildings.
we take a look into the attack at the Ohio State campus and the effect it is having on students here at the U of I.
Plus, Kipper Nichols is just weeks away from being able to suit up for the Illinois basketball team. We look at what this means for Gross and his squad.
Your UI7 Newsbreak starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, this is your UI7 Newsbreak.
Hello and welcome to UI7 Newsbreak. I'm Masaki Sugimoto.
And I'm Erin Stanley.
On Sunday, the Army Corps of Engineers announced they were rerouting the Dakota Access Pipeline.
On Monday, community members in Champaign-Urbana gathered to share their thoughts on the end of a long protest.
Army Corps of Engineers has denied the permit to drill underneath the water.
On Sunday, the Army Corps of Engineers announced that they would prohibit the Dakota Access Pipeline from being built. This marks the end of about 8 months of protest over the building of the pipeline. In Champaign, members of the community gathered at the alma mater Monday to acknowledge the accomplishments of the people who protested the building of the pipeline. Karen Medina of Champaign thought it was important to people who are from Illinois to take notice of the pipeline controversy.
It's really important to continue to work for clean water, to work to get away from fossil fuels, including coal in Illinois, and also to support the indigenous rights.
It turned from a rally into a discussion of what would happen next for those who oppose the North Dakota Access Pipeline.
But I'm not happy with the process.
Many of the speakers went beyond acknowledging their accomplishment and talked about what would happen next. Medina feels like the issue with the pipeline is relevant to those living in Champaign-Urbana.
It is important to people in Illinois, in particular because the pipeline that is coming from North Dakota will actually meet up with another pipeline that is coming from northern Illinois, and it will actually go across the Muhammad Aquifers.
Some, like Harry McAlade, went on to talk about how direct action will be able to help other activists accomplish the goals that they have set out.
The brave people at Standing Rock put their bodies in the way and used direct action to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline.
In response to the decision to halt the creation of the pipeline, Energy Transfer Partners, the company that was building the pipeline, released a statement. They said that, quote, the decision was purely a political action and that they said they would work to finish the pipeline.
Before the pipeline was rerouted, a local restaurant planned an event so the community could get behind the cause. Now they're having it anyway. UI7's Annabeth Carlson has the story.
The Red Heron restaurant is known for serving up vegan eats, but there's something else on the menu: activism. Their latest cause is the Dakota Access Pipeline, and after Sunday's decision, now they have a cause for celebration. Charlie Harris is the organizer of Wednesday's event. He was shocked when he learned the pipeline would be rerouted, but he says people should still attend. There will be food, music, and guest speakers who went to the pipeline protests.
This event I feel is important because there's still pipelines, there's still issues with the energy infrastructure being based around coal and oil, and transporting these things is going to cause harm to the natural environment.
In Urbana, I'm Annabeth Carlson, UI7 Newsbreak.
Officials are still investigating last week's attack at Ohio State. Local police reported several injuries on the campus. The Islamic State terrorist group has taken responsibility for the attack. However, there is no evidence directly linking the assailant to the group. The FBI made a statement saying that they believe the attacker was inspired by either ISIS or Al-Qaeda. The assailant plowed his car into a group of pedestrians and then began to slash people with a butcher knife. Police quickly arrived on the scene and shot the assailant dead after he injured 11 people. Besides the assailant, there were no other reported deaths.
The recent attacks have caused some U of I students to fear for their safety on campus. UI7's Jacob Fagerstein tells us how the University of Illinois would respond if they were faced with a similar threat.
The attack at Ohio State rattled the nation, but it could have been much worse. Illinois student Allison Wangerhoff was directly impacted by the attack as her boyfriend was in the area when it took place. Wangerhoff says that OSU officials were able to guarantee her boyfriend's safety.
He said that despite everything that was like going on, he still felt very safe because of the way the university professionals and staff and cops and everything handled the whole situation and kind of put them at peace of mind that everything was going to be okay.
If this type of attack were to happen at U of I, the university's immediate response would be crucial. U of I Police Communications Specialist Patrick Wade says it's important that students and faculty know how to protect themselves in the event of an active threat.
You know, the police call themselves first responders, but really in a situation like that, it's the people who are in the building, the people who are actually part of the emergency, who are the first responders and need to take that first action.
If you walk around the University of Illinois campus, you'll see one of these emergency booths nearly everywhere you go. The booths allow you to contact authorities with the simple push of a button. In the case of an active threat, however, you might not have time to do so. This leaves you with only 3 options. These options are run, hide, and fight. The U of I Police Department says that if there's an active threat, the best thing to do is run. If you're unable to run, the next best option is to take shelter and hide. If you can't do either, you'll need to fight the assailant. The OSU attack hit close to home for Wangerhoff as she's now concerned for her safety here on campus.
I think about it like there's buildings here that don't really have much security, and people could easily get into those buildings or could easily target certain areas on this campus.
If an attack were to happen, the university police are prepared to respond, and they encourage students to prepare themselves as well. I'm Jacob Fagerstein, UI7 Newsbreak.
The University of Illinois Campus Senate met yesterday evening with one of the highest attendances of the year. The hot topic issues brought in many passionate students and faculty. President Timothy Killeen was present to discuss the investment, performance, and accountability commitment concerning the recent budget discussions. Later, a resolution on the inclusive campus climate was voted on. A group of professors drafted this resolution due to recent hate crimes on campus and concerns over campus policing. It calls for the campus to review its current policies and protections for students. The resolution passed during the meeting with support from many student attendees. Eric McDuffie, who had an incident with police presence in his classroom, says this passing sends a message to students.
It sends a signal that the university hears them, understands what they're going through, and supports them.
To reflect the University of Illinois.
McDuffie adds that the passing of this resolution is just the first step.
While the U of I Senate met yesterday, a smaller Senate was giving back. This holiday season, the Bottenfield Elementary Student Council is making sure no child is cold on their walk to the bus.
Stay warm, everyone!
That's the message the Student Council at Bottenfield has this winter. They want everyone to stay warm with their hat and mitten drive. It continues through December, and they have been spreading the word. Allison Stevenson is a teacher who helped the kids plan it. She said the hat and mitten drive was all their idea. She loves their desire to help others.
It just really makes us feel good. Yeah, I really like to enthuse holiday cheer, and it feels nice to help people around Christmas time.
When the drive is done, a social worker will give the clothes to students in need.
The weather is getting colder, which means the holiday fun begins. Santa and his elves were the main attraction at Curtis Orchard's 10th annual Breakfast with Santa event. The popular celebration was a must for many families in the Champaign-Urbana area. Picture with Santa and a sleigh ride kept kids excited for cookie decorating that was soon to follow. Curtis Orchard hosts a number of events until December 20th, when they close for the rest of 2016. The community is encouraged to come out and celebrate before Curtis Orchard's famous goodies, like their apple cider, are gone for the season.
As the holiday season approaches, people are looking for what toys and games are popular. Gina Manola, a local board game designer, says that her cooperative children's games can teach important lessons. The cooperative children's game Feed the Woozle features a brightly colored creature that players must feed with snacks. Manola's cooperative games teach children how working together means winning together. In Manola's Race to the Treasure, children compete against an ogre to get to the treasure first. Manola says these games eliminate competition between friends and unites them toward one shared purpose in fun and engaging ways. So children learn valuable life skills like sharing.
When we come back, find out how the university is attempting to understand the possibility of hacking in the 2016 election.
Then see how the eye of a mantis shrimp may be able to help detect cancer. Stay tuned.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome, I think we're breathtaking, and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together. Go to getschool.com for more info.
Jill Stein continues to push for a recount in Pennsylvania. This is after previously dropping a lawsuit due to the $1 million it would cost to execute. Stein is now asking a federal court to force the recount. She announced the lawsuit at a press conference, saying the state is using its bureaucracy to obstruct voting integrity. Recounting continues in Wisconsin, and a federal judge ordered one for Michigan Monday morning. Stein has been fundraising for recounts in states where security experts say hacks may have occurred. President-elect Donald Trump called her effort a scam.
There are local efforts to better understand election numbers. UI7's Alyssa Musoff tells us how the university research attempts to better understand the polling and possibility of hacking.
The presidential election surprised many this year with very different results than polls had projected. The outcome has led to recount efforts in swing states and has encouraged researchers to look into how polls are conducted. Niraj Pant is a computer science student at the University of Illinois. He assisted on a project called Election Analytics. The research group worked to create their own election polls and project a result. Pant says that this election encouraged pollsters to look deeper into their outcomes.
I think what it really opened our eyes to is that we need to go back and really look at polling and election data and check the validity, check biases.
The gap between poll projections and the election outcome have led some to speculate voter fraud and even hacking attacks on voting machines. Computer science instructor Lawrence Angrave says it wouldn't be difficult to hack a voting machine, but it is unlikely any voting machines were. Still, he thinks checking them is important.
So I think it is worthwhile to kind of audit these machines and to look for errors. I think it's very dangerous at the moment when we say, no, we want to trust whatever was reported and assume that it's simply correct.
Students in these labs are not only trying to better understand polling and polling results, they are also researching ways to better accurately represent citizen votes in the actual election.
There's other types of voting where you'll select I want A, B, and D. And so people are looking into different ways that we can affect voting to see how third parties can even have a bigger part in the election.
Pant and the other students plan to do maintenance on their polling site, recoding outdated areas, and making new graphs to prepare for the next election cycle. In Urbana, I'm Alyssa Musoff, UI7 Newsbreak.
A U of I researcher is creating advanced technologies to make cancer surgeries even more accurate. It all comes from looking to nature for solutions. Associate Professor Victor Gurev has been developing high-tech surgery goggles for over half a decade. The design is based on the eye of the mantis shrimp. It's an animal that can see colors and polarization that humans can't. By mimicking that biology, Gurev created goggles that allow doctors to see polarization through color cues. Those color cues alert them to where cancerous tissue might be. The success of the goggles lies in their innovative design. Because they can be worn, they let surgeons keep their hands free and don't make an already crowded room more crowded. Gurev says it's often nature that can help solve the biggest problems.
That was kind of exciting because you bring this sort of mantis eye-inspired camera to help you diagnose these cancerous tissues.
He says it will take them at least a year to get the goggles FDA approved after they finish their clinical trial period. If it goes through, then the goggles may be available in local hospitals.
U of I Genetic Engineering has found a way to improve plant growth significantly. The new discovery may revolutionize crop science. U of I researchers have found that the light adaptation process of plants is too slow, which can waste valuable energy. By manipulating certain proteins in tobacco plants, they were able to speed up this process and improve growth significantly. Plant breeders' normal yield is about 1% per year. Genetically engineering the photosynthesis process produced much more.
We obtained 20%, from 50 to 20% more yield. So that's why it's from these numbers, 1 versus 20%, that is really exciting.
The results indicate that further research may be able to help solve food shortages by increasing crop growth. The research team will continue genetic modifying, but this time they are experimenting with rice.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have a look at the weather.
Stay tuned to UI7 Newsbreak.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome, I think we're breathtaking, and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran?
Those cold temperatures have started to creep into the area in the past weeks, and this weekend we got our first glimpse of snow. Champaign Public Works has been hard at work readying for the season. Temperatures have fallen below freezing on multiple occasions already to open the month of December, and now the snowy season is here. While it's nearly impossible to forecast precipitation across an entire season, Public Works employee Chris Kester said the city of Champaign was prepped just in the nick of time.
We tried to have everything ready by December 1st. We did complete that. There's a few tune-ups that are happening to some of the vehicles in preparation, but you know, we're ready to go as of today if we needed to.
Public Works has a minimum of 14 trucks and a few tractors at the ready in case of a large snowfall hits the area. Were you caught in the snow that came down pretty hard, but it all melted away?
I was, myself and my dog. I tried to walk him, and we were both kind of caught in the snow and couldn't see much, but it was freezing. It was a lot colder than I expected.
I was really lucky because I just got to see the snow from the inside of my home.
Lucky you. That's what I was hoping for, but like I said, we wanted to go out and get some fresh air, but it was a lot colder than I thought it would be. Now we're going to send it over to Elizabeth Dye with the weather.
Hi guys, so if you haven't been outside yet today, it is a little gloomy. We had a chance of rain earlier today and that led to a foggier afternoon, but it will clear up throughout the rest of the day. So let's start off by looking at today's local temperatures. In Champaign-Urbana, it will be about 37 degrees, a little warmer in southern Illinois, at Charleston at 41 degrees. Decatur and Springfield will both be 40 degrees, and as we go a little north than us, Bloomington and Peoria will be at around 37 degrees. Now looking at the Midwest temperatures, Chicago will be a little colder than us at 34 degrees, and going a little more west than that, Cedar Rapids will also be 34, with Des Moines, Iowa being at 32. And of course, as we go even more to the southern regions, in Paducah, Kentucky, it will be 48 degrees, and as well in Louisville, it will be 48 degrees. And if we go a little more towards the west in Kansas City, it'll be around 38 degrees. Now looking at the national temperatures, we really do have quite a variation across the U.S., with the coldest temperatures being in the northern region, with Helena, Montana at 2 degrees, so at least we aren't there this morning. And some of the hottest temperatures being on the west coast, with Los Angeles at 64, Phoenix at 65, as well as in Miami at 81 degrees, so love to be there right now. And then we kind of even out the temperatures with Dallas at 52 degrees and Atlanta at 62. And over on the East Coast, New York will be 47 degrees with Boston at 43. And as we look towards the temperatures for later tonight, it will be pretty chilly, so make sure to bundle up. The lows will reach around 24 degrees, and it will be another cloudy night. The winds will reach around 7 to 13 miles per hour coming from the west. And looking at tomorrow, it will be another cloudy day, and the temperatures really don't fare much better. It will be around 35 degrees, but it will feel colder, so be prepared. And we'll have some winds from the west at 8 miles per hour. Now looking at our 5-day forecast, the whole week really does have a similar range of temperatures, but it will be cold, so it really is going to start feeling like winter. The lowest temperature will be the lowest high will be on Thursday at 26 degrees, and it will be around partly sunny on the rest of the week, with it getting pretty cloudy the beginning of next week. As we move into the weekend, 34 degrees on Saturday and even warmer on Sunday at 36 degrees. But the lows will reach under 20 degrees, so be prepared and bundle up.
That's it for the weather, everyone. Expect more cold temperatures in the coming days.
Thanks, Liz. Now we know we have to put on a few more layers.
And now let's throw it over to Jonathan Jaffe with sports.
Thanks, Misaki. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's Illini basketball game. Plus, we'll share the story of Kipper Nichols, the Illini guard who's eagerly waiting to help out the team. We'll also take a look at the results from gymnastics team's orange and blue exhibition. Stay tuned.
Love is love.
The Illinois men's and women's gymnastics teams made their debut at the annual Orange and Blue Meet this past weekend. It was an afternoon of humor and friendly competition as the gymnasts were split into 2 teams of blue and orange. They were then matched up in 4 rounds of 5 head-to-head competitions in each rotation. Each event was judged by a panel of student athletes. After team competition ended with a tie, Team Orange walked away with a tiebreaker win, 13-12. The Illinois women's team will open regular season action as they take on Missouri and Ball State at Missouri on January 6th. The men will begin the regular season at the Windy City Invitational on January 14th. In the spirit of gymnastics, the Illinois basketball season is in full swing, but one Illini is patiently waiting for his season to start.
I just want to help my team win. That's really it.
Kipper Nichols hasn't played in a competitive basketball game in over a year and a half, and until December 17th, he's not allowed to. Nichols enrolled at Illinois nearly a year ago after having second thoughts about attending Tulane. He didn't play during his first semester on campus and had to sit out this fall semester due to NCAA transfer rules.
I mean, I can't really explain it. When you're watching the game and you're watching a group of guys that you're in the battle with, not during game time, but in practice, day in and day out. You just want to be able to help them any way you can. If I could, I would go out there in my khakis and my polo and play.
Illini head coach John Gross knows that Kipper Nichols has been through a lot, but despite that, he thinks that the forward has taken advantage of his time waiting.
I think it's hard, but he's done well. I mean, he's gotten better each day. Staff's done a great job with him. He's continued to improve. It's not easy, but I do think he's gotten better.
Nichols' improvement can largely be credited to his practice routine, where he shows up 2 hours before every game and goes to work. For Nichols, December 17th can't come soon enough.
I got dreams about that every night. I wake up in a cold sweat. I think about it every day. I got it marked on my calendar, and I can't wait, man. I'm anxious.
In Champaign, Jonathan Jaffe, UI7 Newsbreak. Coach Gross will be busy in a few weeks when he has to figure out how to work Kipper Nichols into the lineup. Luckily, he'll have help from his assistants, who have a lot more involvement than one might think. The life of an assistant college basketball coach is quite complex. In fact, there's so much behind-the-scenes work that goes into the journey leading up to becoming a coach. Illinois men's basketball assistant coach Paris Parham has endured the long, hard road, making the best of his opportunities along the way. One thing Parham enjoys most about working for Illinois basketball is that they like to have fun. The team is coming off back-to-back wins against 2 solid opponents, and this year's coaching staff is excited about having a top 10 recruiting class for next season. Parham's contributions to the team are a big reason for the recent success, and the Illini fans are eager to see where this team takes them. Unfortunately, there's no football headlines for Illinois during this exciting time of the year in college sports, but the Illini basketball team faces IUPUI tonight at 7 p.m. I caught up with a few players to get their thoughts on the matchup.
They're really good on the offensive end. When they play 4 guards, they're all very skilled and they're all capable of scoring 20-plus points.
Just playing the same way we played the other night. We got to keep that physicality about us and just keep playing hard and keep defending like we did that last game.
We want to win every game. We want to prepare ourselves to where we got the best chances of winning. So that was just our approach, and it's been working for us the last few games.
That's all we have for sports today. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Johnny. The holidays are right around the corner, and the Champaign Carolers are too. Director Jim Bean talks about how he started the choir. UI7's Heather Muno has more on our See You Neighbor.
We want to bring it big this year.
The Champaign County Christmas Carolers Choir aims to bring joy to their listeners. Director of the Champaign County Christmas Carolers, Jim Bean, says the holidays used to be the most dreaded time of the year for him.
There was a tragedy in my family, and my mother had been brutally murdered, actually.
Bean went through depression, and the holiday season was a time he resented. After a period of time, Bean gathered a group of friends and they went out caroling at local nursing homes and care centers. This is the 6th consecutive year for the Champaign Carolers, and since the start, Bean has booked over 100 events. The last performance of this year will be here at the Swan Care Center, and 121 children will receive a gift donated by the choir. Choir singer Sherry Lukemeyer says giving to others is a very rewarding feeling.
It's amazing. It's seeing the faces of every place we go. It is just, this time of year, seasonal depression hits a lot of people, and I'm one of them, and it just lifts my spirits so much just looking forward to it. It's amazing.
Bean went from hating Christmas to loving it. Bean says giving happiness to others is what changed his life.
I look forward to it now. Yeah, absolutely. And this year especially, I've been really looking forward to getting out and singing with this core group of people and others who will wind up joining us as the season goes along. And yeah, it's a great time of the year again.
Happy holidays. In Champaign, I'm Heather Muno, UI7 Newsbreak.
And there we go. I think the best part about the end of the year is that the holidays can be stressful, but I honestly think it's all worth it when you get together with families and friends.
It is, and I feel like we've come such a long way since the beginning of the semester. I love you guys, and I feel like we've improved so much.
Absolutely. I feel like everything's wrapping up. Obviously, break's coming up, but just like, I mean, senior year, we're almost halfway through senior year. Isn't that crazy? You know, a lot of people are looking forward to the break, but I don't want to go home. I want to stay here. I want to, I'm going to miss this place. What about you guys?
Oh, I'll definitely miss it. And I can't believe it's finally our last newscast.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a lot of fun delivering the news to everyone, and I hope everyone else was able to enjoy it as well.
Do you guys have finals?
As a journalism student, not many finals. I like to get out there and tell stories, but I'm sure all the other people are going to be busy this coming weeks.
And that's all we have for today's show, folks. I'm Masaki Sugimoto.
I'm Elizabeth Dye.
I'm Jonathan Jaffe.
And I'm Erin Stanley. As always, thanks so much for tuning into UI7 Newsbreak.
For more stories, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UI7 Newsbreak. Thank you, and have a great day.